The words we use about ourselves, about others, impact us greatly. But we're so flippant and what we say is so unintentional that we never recognise the power of what we say has to impact our lives and impact others. And it's that lack of intention from what we do and what we say that's creating the experiences we have. How many of us continually profess that we don't have the same amount, I'll never have that job, or I'm never going to be able to afford that, or I'll never have that relationship. And that always becomes the experience, that becomes your reality. And then you look at other people and they have no problem saying, I'm going to make loads of money, I've got a happy relationship. And right enough, that's the experience they have. They love their relationships, they have great jobs. And we always put it down to external factors as to why they are like that and we are like that. And we never consider, maybe it's how we say things. Maybe it's the lack of understanding of what we say, how we say it and why we're saying it, that is having the greatest impact in all of our experiences. Something I've become very conscious of. And I suppose it's just the ability to bring your awareness to what you're saying and the repercussions of saying it. Being a gym owner, or was a gym owner, you're able to witness a lot of people and how they talk about themselves and how negative it is. And you can see the difference between someone who's confident and believes in themselves and the language they use and the shape they're in and the goals they achieve compared to others who are always putting themselves down. And you know, it can branch off. You could have someone who's a very successful businessman and believes in himself business-wise, believes in his ability to make money, believes in his skill set when it comes to his working environment, but his body, he'll put himself down. He'll talk negatively about it. He'll make excuses and justifications, like he'll make a joke about drinking the beers the weekend and all this because he doesn't feel confident in that area. But if he was to examine the words he uses in his business and how he speaks about himself in the business perspective and apply that to those same principles to how he speaks about himself when he's in the gym or when he's eating his food or when he's looking in the mirror, you would find there'd start to be a change in the outcomes. We speak before we think, and we say things habitually based on how we feel about ourselves. It's probably so deeply rooted in the subconscious that we're not even aware of it. And this is why most of us are on autopilot. The best example you can go is driving a car. You go to the shops or you go to somewhere you've never been before. It's still the same thing. You're going to get in the car, you're going to turn the ignition on, you're going to find the biting point, you're going to take off, you're going to change gears, you're going to slow down when the car's slow down, speed up when the road's clear, indicate, turn left, indicate, turn right, go round roundabout, stop. You don't think about it. It's just automatic. But once upon a time it wasn't. Once upon a time you had to really put your thought and focus onto what you were doing until it became habitual. How many of us put our thoughts and focus into putting ourselves down? Into always finding something that is wrong with us? Into always pointing out to yourselves the parts of you don't like? I find it very weird, strange scenario. No, that's not right to say because I was like that myself. But I look at myself now and I go, I find it very weird that I was able to do this, no problem. I was able to always find everything that I thought was wrong with me. And because I thought like that, I lived my life from that perspective. And if someone thought differently, I'd feel so threatened, I would like push them away. If a girl was maybe coming on to me or someone was giving me a compliment, I would have pushed them away because I almost felt like they were making fun of me because how I felt about myself. And you can see that process playing out in the gym. In all gyms, I've owned 3 of them. The conversation I have with people, we're all the same. And how we talk about ourselves reinforces that, and how we feel about ourselves. Because we feel a certain way, we seek out proof to validate it. And then we wonder why we are the way we are, and we're experiencing what we're experiencing. The thing I love about meditation is it gives you a chance to be consciously aware of what you're doing. You're taking time out of your day to quiet the mind and observe the thoughts. You're no longer in the quagmire of the fears and the feelings. You're separating yourself from it. Do you know a good example would be, we aren't our thoughts. And the best way you can prove that is stop thinking. Just stop thinking. Stop all thoughts coming to your head. Give yourself a minute and don't think of anything. It's impossible. Even the choice to not think about thoughts, it's you thinking about not thinking about thoughts. So we observe the thoughts. Something else is thinking for us, and we're almost like, but we're picking the thought that resonates with how we feel about ourselves and making that our reality. The truth is, or what is true is, we could choose, if you think you're fat and ugly, you could choose to start thinking, I'm thin and beautiful. Now, is it going to happen overnight? No, it's not going to manifest in 2 weeks. But the more you think to yourself, I am beautiful, I am thin, I am well built, I am strong, I am popular, I am successful, whatever it is, and you keep on thinking that, and you focus your intention on that, and you bring your awareness so that when you notice yourself slipping off target, you bring it back and you focus again on what you want, you'll soon find that you'll start losing weight, because you'll start taking actions that are congruent with the thoughts you're having repetitively. How many people go, I couldn't be bothered going to the gym? That's a thought. I couldn't be bothered going to the gym. And then it's, I couldn't be bothered going to the gym because, and you'll have another reason, and the excuses start. When you could tell yourself, I'm going to the gym, I'm not going to eat that food, and focus on it. There's a meditation I'm doing at the moment, and it's 5 words. I am that I am. And the idea of it is, I am that is what you're saying. Like, here's I am that. And you put a conscious image in your head of the version of you that you want to be. So park all of your current reality and allow your imagination to run wild. And just like you go to the cinema and you know it's not real, but you go there anyway and you watch and you enjoy it and you get sucked into the story. Do that with your imagination about who it is you want to be. I am that. Now the words I am are the God source. Do you know what? I am. Jesus said, I am the light, the truth, the way. I am. He wasn't saying he was saying I am, because I am is God. Now what God is, forget about the biblical God if you don't believe it. It's source, it's universe, it's creation, whatever you want to refer to it as. But when you say I am, you've got a fractal of that God source in you. So you're projecting that outwardly, and you're believing that, and you're feeling into it. So I am that. And then the next part is, you must truly believe you are that. In that imaginary state where you're in your head, you're in your mind, just like watching the film, you're not thinking, I'm going to become that. You're living it. You're feeling it. I am that. And then you finish by giving to God, I am. I am that. I am. And then if you want to make it even bit better, you breathe in, I am that, and then you blow out, I am. So you're breathing in what you believe, then you're blowing out to God. Or you can do it the other way about. You blow out what you are and you breathe in God. And that's sort of that mindset. And you're giving yourself, see, the thing is, when you give yourself time and you make like a decision to not go on your phone, to not distract yourself, to sit down, close your eyes, and allow that to happen, and repeat that mantra and feel the words and consciously speak the words, not just but the sentence you say over again and you feel into that and you have the imagination, you're creating. You're starting to create something. How many of you tell yourselves you're not? I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I would never do that. I don't want to. Do you know, it's and that becomes true. You can't do it. You don't become it. You won't get there. You can't see the power in your words. You can't see the power in what you're saying. But yet, it's the captain steering your ship of life towards the destination you keep on visualizing. And the problem is, it's not a problem. The problem for most people see is, it's difficult to change habitual thoughts. And it's going to take time. Just like it takes time to build up a habit of going to the gym, and it takes an even longer habit to get results from building that habit. It's going to take time for you to become comfortable with that new train of thought. It's going to take you to go over the road bumps. You're going to drive into cul-de-sacs and dead ends. You're going to have to reverse back and start again, go in another direction. That's what happens. But the alternative is very, very light, comfortable, familiar stories, but not really the life you want. I understand it because it's only this last few years I'm getting into it on a deeper level. So I'm not saying everyone has to understand it, should understand it. It's a process. It's a journey that you must undertake yourself. And you will fall off the wagon and you'll go back to your old habits over and over and over again. But that's not a problem. That's just you revisiting and then becoming more consciously aware of that's not the direction you want to go anymore. And then making the conscious decision to change it. Like, if everyone closed their eyes now and took a deep breath into their belly, right? Close your eyes and think about, envision the perfect version of you. The version of you that if there was no blockage, no stopping you, no barriers, and you could just click your fingers like Thanos and make it happen, who would that version be? What would he or she look like? Where would they be living? What would they be doing? What would they be wearing? What would they say? What would they think? How would they act? What type of people would be around them? Whoever it is, do it guilt-free. Don't do it. Don't worry about what you think's right or wrong. It's like if there was no barriers, if anything could be possible in the realms of possibilities. Now, I'm not saying like grow wings and fly. But if it was like having a big house or having the job or the perfect partner, whatever it is, allow yourself to go into the cinema and park reality for what you know it now and enjoy the show. And create that image in your head. And feel how that individual would feel. How would they respond to the fights that you're having in your marriage? What would they do to create their business if their money was no object? What you're doing there is creating that actual reality. Because the subconscious mind, and we know this, the subconscious mind does not know the difference between real and make-believe. This is why you see like the red arrows, they're all like doing this in unison. They pretend they're pushing their buttons and they're pushing forward and they're putting, they're reliving it in their mind. That's why the Olympians envision them crossing the line first or the perfect throw, because the subconscious mind creates our actual lived reality. And we can choose to be present in the moment and give ourselves permission to just create that story in our head. It's funny how even through the bankruptcy, people were saying to me, "You got to get a job." I was like, "No, I'm a coach. I'm a coach. That's what I do. I can't work for anyone else. I have to coach. That's all I'm going to be able to do. That's all I can do. The gym's going to be okay." Well, fucking lo and behold, where am I sitting? In the gym. Now, am I arrogant enough to say like I just sat and meditated and created like that? No. But what did happen was I refused to allow myself to go any path where the alternative was a possibility. And I didn't know how it was going to happen or what was going to occur. But I did know that somehow I was going to be okay. And I kept on telling people I'm going to be okay. And I didn't know why or how I knew it was going to be okay. But it turns out I was okay. The members stepped up, got all the equipment back, opened the gym again, and now I'm here coaching in the gym. To me, regardless of anything else says, that's enough proof for me to know it works. So now I've got to do things that are more challenging. Now I'm going to start envisioning more and more and more and more members coming in, and I don't know how I'm going to get them, but I know I'm going to get them. And I know I'm going to build this gym up again. And I know I'm going to get my land. And I know I'm going to do all these things because I've got tangible proof I've done it before. Do you know, I have had moments where I've just known. I knew I was going to get Fight Academy Ireland. I knew I was going to get Primal. I knew I was going to marry Gail. I knew I was going to have this gym again. I just knew these things intuitively. I didn't think about it. I didn't like, you know, there was no doubt in my mind that it happened. It just happened. I think we've all got that power. We've all got that ability to do so. But too many of us repeatedly speak the patterns of words that don't serve us. We continually verbalize and think and feel these repetitive sentences that aren't ours to hold. They're probably passed on to us in childhood, and we've never given any consideration or thought as to where they came from or are they true. They've just become so normalized in our thought process and who we identify as that we emanate that energy from that perspective. So the meditation is very simple. I am that I am. And you allow yourself to create the image that you want in your head of who you are. And you say, I am that I am. Over and just breathe and focus on it. You're just focusing your attention. It's the power of intention. People need to realize the power we've got to create our lives. And it's like, it's not being willing to surrender to the process. You put it out there, now you're just going to trust that what happens for you, not to you. Because when it starts happening to you, then you're a victim to it. When it happened for you, it's for a higher purpose. You don't need to know the path. You just need to have the trust to walk that path. It's like I heard a quote the other day and I thought it was such a powerful quote. It was like, wow. I don't know who said it, but I was like, circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him. And that resonated so deeply with me. Because you can change, but that the version you become is already in you. He's already, or he or she's already in you. It's just you need to reveal them. And the circumstances will do that for you if you're willing to go with them and not fight against them. Like I have fought all my fucking life, and I have met roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and it's ended up with my head being melted and going through depressions and suicide attempts and just. But the more and more I just surrender to what is and just sit with it rather than allowing it to overwhelm me, the more my life seems to sort itself out, even in the darkest moments. Do you know, it's funny, like it's like when they made me bankrupt, I just was lost. I didn't know what the fuck. I'd lost everything I've created. Everything I was, everything I identified as was removed from me. And I was put in a position where I literally had no clue, no power, no idea what was going to happen. But I knew that I was never going to be anything other than a coach. And a coach to me just isn't in the gym. I do a lot more than just coaching gyms. Do mindset, do meditation, do a lot of other things. But it's all coaching. It's what I'm born to do. It's my vocation, it's my dharma. And it's something I'm passionate about. But the experience of the bankruptcy and the law, the feeling, that helplessness, that absolute, I am fucked here. In all that, I was able to see the beautiful things that happened, because there were so many things that were like, I'm so grateful for, that I would never have had or never experienced or realised had that not happened. The first being how much I'm loved by my members. Like, I couldn't get over all the members coming together to reopen the gym for me. Getting the money together and buying back the equipment. Opening the gym again, the lease and everything. I'm powerless to do that. But whatever I've created here had enough energy in it that the members didn't want to lose it either. And that showed me how much I mean to them. I mean as much to them as they mean to me. And then the second point was, I had to go be humble, know where to live. So I had to go be humble and ask my parents, could I move in with them? And when I did that, I started to bond with them again, and our relationships built up. It was rocky in the first few weeks. So you're sort of, you're mad, you're mad, you know. But it's class now. I love I'm so happy there now with them. And I'm not going to have them the rest of my life. If things say the cycle goes the way the cycle's meant to be. So if I'm lucky, I'll have them for another 10, 15 years. But that goes on so fast. So I was able to build a relationship that now, no matter how long they're here on this earth we're together for, the relationship has been improved and bettered. And then I was able to see my daughters every single day, and that hasn't happened in 8.5 years. And to see your kids, you realise how much you love them. You know, when you don't get to see them, as a single parent, you know, you're working and you only get to see them on certain days, and see to be around them every single day. It was beautiful. So yeah, it sucked to lose the gym, and the uncertainty was a bit of a ball buster. But it was a gift in disguise, like it really was, because it's given me so much more. And it's also given me lessons that I know I'm not going to make mistakes again, and how to course train. That teaches you the humbleness, the humility of having to ask for help and admit you were wrong. And there's a lesson within that itself. But the ego mind can control you and stop you. It's like I heard the ego edge God out. I like that. Because the ego mind is 10% mind and the 90% subconscious mind and God mind. I like that. The ego mind edges God out. I like that saying. I thought that was very powerful. But all these experiences, you can crumble or you can climb back up. There's a great, what was the story someone told me the other day? It was like 5 chapters. It's like, chapter 1, a woman walks down a street, doesn't see a big hole and falls into it. She can't get out. Chapter 2, the woman walks down the same street and pretends she can't see the hole and falls into it and she can't get out. Chapter 3, the woman walks down the street, sees the hole and jumps into it and can't get out. Chapter 4, the woman walks down the street, sees the hole and walks around it. Chapter 5, the woman walks down a different street. I thought that was so simplistically, geniusly brilliant. I don't know whose story it is, but I was like, that just sums up the journey of evolution and growth, of doing the work, because we all repeat our lives in these same chapters, and sometimes we can see it, but we just pretend we don't, and we fall into it, and we just repeat the same patterns until eventually we decide, there's a hole down there, let's not walk down that street. let's go down, let's take a different road. It's simple, isn't it? The other quote I heard, and I'm loving it, I'm using it left, right, and centre now, is no one has ever died from a snake bite. Once you're bit, you're bit. You can't unbite. You can't be unbitten. But it's not the snake bite that killed you. It's the venom that runs through your blood and your veins that killed you. And that's us. It's very rarely the experience that has killed. None of us have died from the experience. But we're all slowly being poisoned by the thoughts running through our veins about the experience. The experience no longer exists. It's us that is poisoning ourselves by ruminating on it and creating it and making it real and allowing it to become more than it is. It was just an experience. How you dissect and digest that experience is going to be the determining factor to the impact it has on your life. It's happened. You can't make it unhappen. But you can choose to learn from it and apply lessons from it, or you can be a victim to it and allow the story to ruin your life, hold you back, cause pain unto others. Do you know, if any of you are interested, by the way, you should read a guy called Wayne Dyer. He's dead now, but he's got so many good books out. He was a brilliant, I loved him. I listened to a lot of his stuff. What's the one? The Erroneous Zones, not the Erogenous, the Erroneous Zones. It's a great book to listen to or read. It's something that I do, like every day. I make sure I walk the dog. When I walk the dog, I listen to a book that's going to help me progress forward and challenge how I think, but do it from a perspective of love. I meditate every day. I play these bowls every day. And the days I feel I train, but I'll train the way I feel like training that day. I'll listen to my body. And I go to bed early. I've completely changed how I approach things now. And, I'm not a millionaire yet, but I've been given another chance. And I get to do what I love to do every day. And there's not many people get to say that. It's sad. It's a sad state of society today that so many people feel forced and pigeonholed into a certain career to make money, to get themselves. And I trust me, I get how important money is in today's society, in this world, but it's not as important as the belonging. It's not as important as the love you receive from others and you give to yourself. And there is something about that deep soul satisfaction of doing things for you, doing the things that bring joy to your heart. Like I just see these bowls. See, when if I'm not here, I'm still playing these bowls by myself for an hour or two a day. I just love the sound of them. I love the feeling. They make me feel better. Even like since I started the sound baths again, there's only been about 2 or 3 people coming. They're saying, "Do you want me to come?" I was like, "Yeah," because I'm going to play it anyway. I love having people around and just that everyone sharing that energy of what these frequencies and vibrations do, and just the breath work. You can just get what you get from the breath work and the connection you get with self from the meditation. I understand it, but I can never go back to being that guy again. It's funny what you fear and how much the fear holds you back for so long until you eventually experience it and go with it. And then you realise, what was I scared of? You were scared of the thoughts. We're talking today about crazy orange man Trump and all the madness of Starmer and everything. And they were saying about the nuclear bomb thing, and I was like, they're never going to launch nuclear bombs. Because, one, I don't believe nuclear bombs, but it's the fear of the nuclear bomb. Because the fear of death is more terrifying than death. Once you're dead, you're dead. This incarnation stops. You come back. What was it Eleanor Roosevelt said about reincarnation? What's a great quote? The probability of me coming back in another life is just as probable as the fact I'm here today, or something along those lines. That's not verbatim, but it's along those lines. Like the fact she's here today is a miracle. So why can't you have another miracle? I like that. But we fear the unknown. But when it happens, it's happened. You then can collapse from it, or you can adapt and learn from it and push forward. That's why I fear for, what's what I fear for the kids today? I'm a kid of the 80s. You knew it was time to come in because your ma would go, "Pah," and scream at you. You didn't know where you were. You were just running about. There was more freedom. I'm telling my kids that, like, I'm sure some of you do it to kids as well, that punishment used to be you were grounded and put in your room for 2 weeks. The kids today just look at you and go, "How's that punishment?" It's inverted now. To punish the kids, you have to put them out for 2 weeks. You have to make them play outside. That's punishment. No phone, get out and play. You have to go play football, climb trees, play two-man hunt. You're not to come back until 9 o'clock. And they think that's a punishment. But what are we doing? We're creating this society, this generation of kids that have no real fortitude because they never were challenged. They were protected. Do you know, it was funny enough, my kids today, or a kid yesterday, they're doing this thing, I don't know if you've heard it, Jealous January. Have you heard of this? This, where they're not eating sweets or chocolate or biscuits, or anything sugary things or processed shit for January. But the very words, Jealous January, I changed it for them. I told them, no, it's Joyful January, we're calling it. And I explained why, because the idea of, I said, why do you call it Jealous January? It's like, because you're going to be jealous of the people who aren't doing it. Like, that's completely inverted, isn't it, when you think about it? So you're doing something really good and healthy for your body, so you feel better and you move better and you get a better connection with self, and you learn to love yourself more and respect yourself more. But you're going to be jealous of the people who don't do that. It's like, that should be joyful. You should be happy that you're actually giving yourself permission to do something that's going to benefit you. But we've got it all around again, the power of words. When you step back and you see society for what it's become, you can see how crazy it is actually, isn't it? We can just regurgitate these stories that we're the most technologically advanced and we're more connected than ever. But we're not. We're more distracted and more separated than we've ever been. We're more susceptible to marketing than we've ever been. We're more dependent on medication and external stimulation and opinions of others. We've become more childlike, reliant on Big Brother than ever. You know, there's an independence being robbed. And our kids never even experience that independence. We don't even give our kids the independence that we had as children, the autonomy to go out and play and climb trees, and it's all health and safety, and you're an abusive parent. You're questioned by social services if your kid comes into hospital a couple of times with a broken arm or something. I get it. I do get it. But if you had my 9-year-old daughter, you would understand. Like, she's born to break bones. A child jumps and tumbles and dances and spins and does crazy things over and over and over again. She's just hyper. And she's just always wanting to express and create, and it's inevitable she's going to break bones. But I'm okay with that because those doesn't turn her off too much. But you know, she's being authentic and she's being what a child's meant to be. And even today, like, they couldn't believe when I said we got a treat once a week. It's like we used to get Angel Delight on Sunday night, you know, or ice cream or something, or trifle for your Sunday dessert. But didn't get desserts Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. You might have got a biscuit or something. Or you went to your nanny's house and you got a bar of chocolate and thought you were a legend. Now kids expect a treat after every dinner. And that's not, they also need money for a tuck shop, and it's insane the way we've allowed things to go. And kids don't buy just a pack of jelly tots the way we used to. It's the big bags now. Their calorie requirements haven't changed, but their appetite has. Their expectations of what is a treat has. And that's down to us. We're failing our kids by allowing that to become a thing. We've allowed it to become a thing. You know, the companies that do this make sense. They know how to make money from us. Give us a few extra crisps in a bigger bag, charge more for it, but we're still getting more crisps, still getting more buns. It makes more sense financially to buy the bigger bar of chocolate than the smaller bar of chocolate, because there's really like 20p difference for like the amount you get more. That's because it's creating more illnesses, more diseases, more dependency on drugs later down the line, big pharma benefit, shorter lifespans, less pensions to pay out. There's also a bigger swamp on the health service. Now once you're dependent on the health service, what do? You privatise the health service. You become like America. And only the people who can afford it can get the service. The rest of us have to die miserably and in pain with diseases that are easily curable but we can't afford. And we think that's a balanced, fair society. Because according to BBC and CNN, that's the way it is. And we're so conditioned to listen to the news broadcasters, news, north, east, west and south, broadcast what they want outwardly on the television, program us with the program. You know, it's on repeat. And our unconscious brain, the subconscious mind, is just taking it in. And then the collective's regurgitating it. And then it becomes accepted, becomes the collective narrative. Anyone that believes outside of it's crazy. Anyone steps outside of it and does anything differently is crazy. Permission to laugh, permission to make fun of, divide us more. Feed the algorithms on our social media sites of the things that we believe, both steeped in evidence, so that we can fight each other and we can say, you're wrong, I'm not, I'm right, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And we'll have this constant conflict. And it's just regurgitated over and over and over again. And when we're doing all that, we could quite easily just decide, you know what, I'm not going to give that any energy anymore, and I'm going to sit, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to connect myself, I'm going to find out what means something to me, what it means for me, what I can do to benefit my life. Forget about what I'm told, forget about what everyone says. Just what can I do for me? It's easy to do. So anyway, talking meditation, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to train. So, you have a good day, folks, and I'll speak to you later.